Viewers, Mahua Moitra made a statement even before she appeared before the Parliament's panel on ethics. The beleaguered Trinamool Member of Parliament walked into the building to attend the hearing clutching 3 handbags, not 1, 3. They were possibly all the uber luxury handbags that are at the heart of what is being called the cash for query scandal. If these were indeed the bags of evidence, excuse the pun, then Moitra's decision to flash them for the camera were clearly her way of saying that she didn't have anything to hide. After such a statement of innocence, the Parliament's ethics panel was going to have its work cut out. We have 2 different versions of what transpired at the hearing, but within a few hours, Mahua Moitra stormed out of that meeting, of that hearing, of that panel hearing that was convened to ask her whether she took money or any other gratification in exchange for allowing a third party to pose questions in Parliament on her behalf. This time, viewers, when she came out of this meeting, when she walked out of this hearing, she wasn't flashing her handbags, but instead her fiery temper. Moitra accused the panel of asking her filthy questions and asked reporters if they could look into her eyes to detect if she had been crying, as the MPs on the panel seemed to suggest that. Here is the sequence, viewers. Watch this.
Asking also the filthy questions. All the MPs are.
People are walking out in protest. We have walked out from the meeting. So they are asking an ethical question.
सर आप लोगों ने वॉकआउट क्यों किया है सर?
वॉकआउट इसलिए क्या कि रात में किससे बात करते हो, क्या बात करते हो, ये चेयरमैन पूछेंगे क्या? ये क्या मतलब है? This is too much.
Where are the tears in my eyes? Keep making up any rubbish. Tears in your eyes. You see my eyes and the tears in it. Then what are you talking shit for? Tears in my eyes.
Viewers, the other opposition MPs that walked out with Mahua Moitra corroborated her version. This was, of course, denied vehemently by the BJP MPs on the panel. Soon a war of words erupted. Listen to this.
वॉकआउट इसलिए क्या कि रात में किससे बात करते हो, क्या बात करते हो, ये चेयरमैन पूछेंगे क्या? ये क्या मतलब है?
But then we felt that he was being kind of undignified and the way he was questioning the lady MP. Instead of
what was he asking?
He's saying, where are you traveling? Where are you staying there? We felt, I think he was going beyond limits of parliamentary decency.
एक्यूज्ड के तौर पर महुआ मैत्रा वहां गई सांसद, लेकिन वो खुलेआम इंटरव्यू देती रही और खुलेआम इंटरव्यू में वो कोट करती रही कि कमेटी ऑफ एथिक्स के अंदर क्या हुआ। अब सही है या गलत है, लेकिन उन्होंने जनता के बीच में एक गलत नैरेटिव बनाने का प्रयास किया और आज जो कुछ भी हुआ, ये संसदीय इतिहास का सबसे काला दिन है।
महुआ मैत्रा के द्वारा उसमें सहयोग करने के बजाय क्रोध से क्रोधित होके कमेटी के ऊपर, कमेटी के चेयरमैन के ऊपर अशब्दों का प्रयोग करते हुए और साथ ही साथ जो विपक्ष के जो ये लोग थे, दानिश अली हों, दूसरे जो बाकी सदस्य हैं, गिरधारी यादव और बाकी लोग, रेड्डी, इन सब लोगों ने बहुत ही क्रोध में और बहुत ही अनएथिकल बात करते हुए कमेटी पे आरोप लगाने का प्रयास किया।
According to sources, Moitra has admitted that she shared her login with business tycoon Darshan Hiranandani. If this is really the case, then she has admitted at least partly to the charges brought against her. For those who might not be aware of the case, Moitra stands accused of sharing login of a parliamentary website to allow a business tycoon to pose questions. Viewers, questions that the ordinary aam aadmi should be posing. Let's look at those charges. Illegally shared login details with Hiranandani. Now, this is a severe breach, viewers, of security, given the fact that this is a very restricted parliamentary website. She allowed the login use by third party 47 times from Dubai. She had no oversight over this. She received gifts and cash to pose questions to center. This is what is being claimed. There was an access to Dubai-based tycoon which threatens national security. That's the implication of sharing that login. And she conspired to bolster the interests of this businessman by handing him this particular login details so he could pose questions that would benefit his business by trying to malign the reputation of a prominent businessman, Gautam Adani. Viewers, in her defense, Moitra has underplayed the seriousness and sensitivity of handing access to her secured parliamentary website to a third party by rejecting any talk of a cash quid pro quo. This is what she says. All MPs give their logins to other aides. What she misses out, viewers, is that she didn't give her password and login to another aide. She gave it to a third party, a businessman. The second argument, Hiranandani is a friend, she claims, who gave me gifts, just 2 gifts. Now viewers, gifts and kind, cash and kind, is there a difference? What difference does it make if you get some sort of an incentive? Whether it's a handbag or heels or makeup or what have you, in exchange for a service that you might have actually allowed this individual to use, a service that only is reserved for a member of parliament on behalf of his or her constituents. The third argument that she has used is that she used typing services from Hiranandani's office, saying that she only outsourced to him the typing service. I oversee all questions posed via my login. And lastly, she said no proof to show quid pro quo. And she said, spoke in parliament when my party asked me to, spoke primarily against corporate nexus, and Hiranandani and Adani are not competing. Therefore, there is no conflict of interest here. Well, viewers, all of that, of course, will be decided by the Parliamentary Ethics Committee. Now, since the matter is still the subject of a hearing, it won't be prudent to arrive at any conclusions. But this will not stop some from posing questions that need to be answered. And here are the questions. By allowing a business czar looking to further his own interest to pose questions 47 times on her secure website, hasn't Moitra breached public trust? Fundamental question. Can Moitra claim that receiving handbags and other accessories can't be deemed as bribes because no cash was allegedly offered to her? This distinction between cash and kind, viewers, is it credible? Should Moitra face a criminal case for sharing her parliamentary login details with a businessman in breach of code of conduct rules? Did Moitra stage a walkout to discredit the ethics panel and short-circuit the inquiry against her? These are fundamental questions, viewers, and they're going to be asked tonight on this show of our panelists. Last but not least, should Moitra take umbrage at questions asking her to clarify whether the businessman showered gifts upon her as a quid pro quo? Well, fundamentally, viewers, big questions tonight. We're taking them. This debate brought to you by Motorola, and that fundamental question coming up on your screens, which we are going to open up to 2 members of parliament, one representing the Congress, one representing the BJP. Viewers, we are joined by Rajdeep Roy, member of the Lok Sabha Ethics Committee. He's a Bharatiya Janata Party MP, and also Uttam Kumar Reddy, member Lok Sabha Ethics Committee, who is a Congress MP. And I want to first begin with the Bharatiya Janata Party MP. Mr. Roy, Mahua Moitra walked out of the Parliament Ethics Panel hearing claiming that filthy questions were asked of her, were posed to her. How do you respond to this charge?
Look, she was given a lot of time. She spoke in the pre-lunch session from 11 in the morning to almost 1:40, 1:45 she spoke. We heard her painstakingly. Not a single question was asked at that point of time. So she gave her side of the story. There were many things which were personal to her, which we were not asking. Anyway, she spoke, but we'll listen just to give an impression that the ethics committee is hearing everybody out, like we heard Nishikant Dubey ji and Advocate Dehadrai. But in the post-lunch session, when chairman sir started asking a few questions, obviously these were all questions pertaining to the ethical behavior of the MPs, and it was of course related to Hiranandani ji and the login that was done from abroad, specifically from Dubai. After answering a few questions, she refused to answer. Then she started saying that most of these questions are personal in nature and I would not like to answer. She could have said that, but she did not say that. She said, you have no right to ask these questions. So that was as much as I can say, and you should appreciate the fact that this ethics committee is actually confidential in matter. Whatever is the matter discussed, questions asked, it is not to be given in the public domain. So I will restrict myself to only this. No questions were unethical in nature. All the questions that were asked were in relevance to the mandate given to the ethics committee to ask a few questions and come to the conclusion. So obviously she lost her cool, and along with her there were other members of the opposition who also lost their cool. They raised a few questions, then they started alleging against the chairman, and they left the house.
They left the house making allegations. Nishikant Dubey is another MP who came out and said that this is all pre-scripted. Let me go across to Mr. Uttam Kumar Reddy, a Congress member of Parliament and also a member of the Ethics Committee. Thank you, sir. Was this pre-scripted? Was this drama pre-scripted? Is the BJP right in making this claim? How do you respond, sir?
Brother, see, there were five of us opposition MPs today. Myself and Mr. Vaithalingam from the Congress Party, Mr. Danish Ali from BSP, Mr. Natarajan from CPM, and Mr. Giridhar Yadav from JDU. See, I can't speak specifically about what happened inside in the meeting because we're not allowed to. But I can just tell you on the issue our stand. One is that there is no evidence of any cash transfer. These are all false allegations that BJP's and Nishikant Dubey are doing. There is no evidence of any cash transfer. Cash for questions is a bogus issue. Second point, what national security compromise are they talking about? I'm an ex-defense guy. I don't find anything about national security being compromised. Third, about NIC portal login. All the 543 Lok Sabha MPs and the 290 Rajya Sabha MPs use their PS or somebody to file these questions, upload the questions, because finally the OTP comes on your mobile phone. And then once the MP gives a go-ahead, only the PA or associate can file it. So, I have really not found much strength in what the BJP and Nishikant Dubey are accusing Mahua of. Mainly, I feel they're targeting her because she has very, very successfully exposed Adani both inside and outside Parliament.
Okay, so this is all about getting back at her for exposing Adani. Now, let me bring in the BJP MP. Let me ask you, sir. Moitra says that the panel is a kangaroo court, that MPs were reading out to a prepared script only to humiliate her. She told the media, and I have played out that sequence, they are picking on anything, talking any rubbish. You have tears in your eyes, they said. Do I have tears in my eyes? You see tears? And she sort of walked up to the camera and she did this with her eyelids. So how do you respond to that, Mr. Roy?
Look, obviously it's not a kangaroo court. Had it been a kangaroo court, the decision to call Ms. Mahua Moitra was taken unanimously. When initially it was not there, we decided to call her, listen to her side of the story. Initially, obviously, the person who made a complaint, we heard them out. Now, the accused has been called. We heard everybody out. So, obviously, it is not a kangaroo court. Number two, as far as her allegation is concerned, it is absolutely a non-starter. We definitely hope that there is merit in the allegation that has been provided against her.
Okay.
And it is for her to keep her cool and respond to it accordingly.
Well, she
as per
walked
she
out.
thinks whatever is best
Okay.
in this case.
Okay, well, she walked out. Let me bring in Mr. Reddy on this point. You heard the response. I just want to ask you, do you think that Moitra needs to be, you've heard what Nishikant Dubey has been saying all through, and you sort of suggested that yourself, Mr. Reddy. Don't you think that Moitra needs to be asked about her reasons to share a secure email login ID with a businessman only for the purpose of furthering his business interests?
See, these are baseless allegations. She has clarified in the meeting today that it was not that businessman person. Some office staff of hers were helping her, type the questions. What happens is that, if you know how practically it runs, I have a parliamentary PA who types out the questions and sends. Then once he's ready, they send an OTP to me. So wherever I am, I say, okay, go ahead, put this question. Then they upload it on the computer. So, and one is, where is the cash thing? And what are they talking about, gifts or travel expenses? It's completely bogus allegations, brother. It's not true.
Okay. Well, viewers, there are two versions emerging here. There are two very sharply varying versions. Mr. Roy, can you explain the sequence of events? How did the hearing begin? What were the nature of the questions posed to Moitra that forced her to walk out? I'm now asking you very specific details. So what happened?
These are confidential matter. I will not go into the details. Only broadly, I will say we heard Mahua Moitra out. We heard her side of the story without Miss Moitra being questioned. She gave her side of the story, and she spoke for almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So you can very well imagine how much can you speak in 2.5 hours. We heard painstakingly all the members without raising a question, heard her out and all. And following the lunch, when we said to question her, she
But
actually
specifically,
walked out, alleging that this is a kangaroo court.
Specifically, because the Congress keeps talking about the fact that there is no proof of cash, etc. So I'm asking you, what proof have Hiranandani and Dehadrai produced to back their claims? Moitra says that Dehadrai is a jilted ex, her words, not mine, and he therefore has an axe to grind. Your response to this, sir?
Look, the ethics committee does not have the mandate to grind the personal life of any person, any member for that matter. And we are not interested in the personal life of Ms. Moitra or Advocate Dehadrai or anyone else and all. We are only looking into the ethical issues behind giving someone OTP, password, login IDs, and get them logged into your own ID through a portal, through a device which is located in maybe Dubai or anywhere else. These are ethical questions.
Okay.
This ethic committee is not looking into the criminality of bribes or anything else. It is also not looking into who gave what gifts, and it is not a family court, so we were not discussing the personal life of anybody.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Be understood. We were
who
only
gave
discussing.
what. Okay, so you're just basically focusing on the fact that this particular login was shared to a third party, which is in contravention of basic rules of conduct. So that's very important, viewers. Clarification coming in here. I want to bring in UK Reddy. Mahua Moitra hasn't denied, Mr. Reddy, sharing her login. So then hasn't she admitted to undermining security and entrusting the trust of the voters to a private entity, a third party entirely? Should be the end of the matter.
No, I cannot see what happened in the meeting. I cannot state on record outside. But what I want to tell you again and again and again is, see, please understand that NIC portal login is a grey area. There is nothing written in the Parliament rules and regulations who can do an NIC portal login or who can't. All of us use our PAs or office staff to do the computer typing, and then the OTP comes on the MP's phone. Similarly with her, once the MP sees it, it's uploaded by the staff.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're outsourcing this to a third party. Okay, 1 second. Let me just ask you once again, sir, and this is an important question because obviously it is something that has been hinted at. And I want to ask you this, Mr. Reddy, by staging the walkout, the BJP says the opposition has tried to sabotage the ethics panel and undermine the process of accountability. Your reaction to this, Mr. Reddy?
The line of questioning was complete prejudicial and biased, and also I found that it is being undignified for a lady MP. So we kept cautioning the chairman not to do that, but he continued to do it. So we said, okay, we can't be a party to this, and along with Mahua, all of us, my opposition, will be blocked up.
Okay, well, unacceptable questions, filthy questions, Mr. Roy. Why is the ethics panel even hearing a matter that should ideally be prosecuted under the provisions of criminal law? If there has been a breach and there is a cash for queries undertone to all of this, and if a complaint has been made to an investigating agency, why isn't a criminal court hearing this matter, a case been filed?
Look, of all the allegations that are there in public domain, I understand that there are a lot of separate issues in it. One is the issue of criminality, one is the issue of ethics. So it is well understandable that when the matter has been referred to Lok Sabha Speaker, Lok Sabha Speaker in his wisdom gave it to the ethics committee. So ethics committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Vinod Sonkar, all of us said, this is our second sitting, On the first day also, there were almost 11-12 members. We painstakingly met for almost 3 hours on the first day, and today almost 5.5 hours on a second day. So you can very well imagine what is the weightage given to this very important issue of ethics regarding the performance of an MP.
Well, viewers, we leave it at this on the face-off, but we'll open this up to a wider panel